Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either January 5th or 6th, 2021, and I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? Now this week is a banger. There are a lot of amazing books coming out this week, so I'm going to try to get through all of it as quickly as possible. But I want to start off by thanking all of you out there for watching my videos. Last week's video had the most amount of views that I've had for any single one of these videos. Thank you so much for checking it out. And for all the new subscribers that have come in as well, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate your support and I hope you like these videos. If you do, I encourage you maybe even to hit that like button prematurely right now, or you can wait till the end and make your own judgment on it. But regardless, thank you all so much for your support. All right, let's start off by taking a quick look at last week's pick, which was Avengers number 40. Now the question is, was this a worthwhile and worthy pick for my just one book? And the answer is yes. I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun and exciting, and I'm really interested in seeing how this Phoenix tournament goes and who comes out on top, and the design of the characters looks really cool. Everything about it was really fun, and I'm interested and excited to see what comes next. In fact, I even went so far as to buy myself a little present along the theme of these books. Little bit of a treat to myself. I don't want to give too much away because I'm going to show it to you in a video that'll come out in a few weeks when it arrives, but needless to say, I'm pretty excited about it. So yes, I'm into this and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the story. All right, next, let's take a look at this week's cover pick. Now, I'm going to let these nominations of sorts just kind of scroll by while I talk about this real fast, because there were a lot of great covers coming out this week. Like I said, there's a lot of great titles coming out this week, and as with many great titles comes many great variants, and this week is no exception. In fact, at one point, I was going to have a random number generator decide which one of these books was going to be my pick. But then as I started to do that, I started to think to myself, man, I really hope the number lands on this one. And I was like, well, then just make it my pick, Jeff. So I went ahead and I picked one book to be my cover pick of this week. And that book is Venom, number 32. And it's this alien, cover that they're doing. They're doing a handful of these. They call them alien variants, of course. They're doing a handful of these on different covers this week, and I'm sure probably in the weeks to come. And some of them are not great. This one is amazing, and it's really kind of gotten me excited about what is potentially to come from having the alien characters and Predator part of the Marvel universe. But this, man, Venom and Alien there, just kind of head-to-head, pretty cool. So this is my cover pick of this week. I hope you all picked up last week's cover pick, Amazing Spider-Man number 55, because that has shot up in price immediately, and it's a great, great cover and totally worthy of its new value on the secondary market. All right, moving on past all that, let's get into this week's books. And like I said, there are a ton of them. I'm going to try to move through them as quickly as possible. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a 45-minute video. But like I said, I'm going to try to get through all of them because there's a lot of great stuff. The first one I want to mention is a book called Avatar: The Next Shadow. It says Jake Sully maintains his position as leader of the Omitakaya Na'vi tribe. But with their homeland in ruins, he begins to doubt his place among them. As the Na'vi and human feud persists, tensions between the tribes begin to escalate as long-standing family rivalries ignite, spawning treachery and betrayal. An untold story set immediately after the events of Avatar. Now, we know there are more Avatar movies coming out. The first Avatar movie, when you saw it on the movie screen, the big screen, I thought it was actually pretty cool. So this comic book might be interesting to you if you're an Avatar fan. The next book I want to mention is called 2020. Just in time. But it's out this week from Writers, artists, and artisans. A quick description is a post-apocalyptic warrior reaches the end of a long hunt for mutant giants in an abandoned city at the end of the world and can finally rest. 2020 is behind us now. Well, we're all happy that 2020 is behind us now. Maybe this will be a great comic book to celebrate it. The next one I want to mention is World of Betty and Veronica, Jumbo Comics Digest #1. Here's the description. Brand new story, The Challenge. Betty and Veronica are flip-flop famous for their dance challenge videos. When they find out that their favorite band, BTX, is holding a contest to perform at the hometown of the winner of the Best Dance Challenge video, Betty and Veronica are ready to make the best viral video out there. But when everyone in Riverdale gets in on the action, especially prankster Reggie Mantle, will Riverdale win, or will it be one big flop? Find out in this brand new double-length lead story from the creative team that brought you Betty and Veronica, The Bond of Friendship. Well, it's interesting how they take these kind of like throwback characters and put them in kind of newer pop culture context. I'm not a big fan or reader of these things, but I could see why someone might be. I wanted to mention it, that it comes out this week. The next book that I'm going to point out to you is The Resistance, Reborn's #1. This is also from Artists, Writers, and Artisans, intended for mature audiences. Stemming from the pages of the hit series The Resistance Reborns explores the origins of the newly superpowered humans after a global disaster leaves hundreds of millions of dead in its wake, causing a few thousand to suddenly manifest superhuman powers. This special collection explores the origins of 5 characters in this new universe of heroes and villains, including the mad, the dangerous, the hidden, the lost, and the transcendent. Writer Michael Straczynski returns to the world of The Resistance, this time joined by artist C.P. Smith. Now, I read The Resistance, the original first issue of this, because it came out as a free comic book day book, and I really, really liked it. And it sounds like there are going to be a few potential first appearances in this book here, so it might be one to keep your eye on. It was a pretty hot book, and this might be one to consider picking up for spec reasons, and also as a read. The next book I want to mention to you is Wrong Earth, Day and Night #1 from Ahoy Comics. The vengeance-dealing Dragonfly sticks it to the man. The acrobatic sleuth Dragonfly Man assists the police. These alternate Earth versions of the same masked crime fighter meet face-to-face for the first time in this new series by the original creators of the smash hit The Wrong Earth. Will their impossible encounter result in a team-up or an all-out war? Every Ahoy title also features extra bonus prose stories, beautifully illustrated. Could be interesting. Wanted to put it on your radar. Another one is Senji and Tembo. This is from Scout Comics, but they call it the Scoot imprint. The African Savannah. Senji, a little mouse, finds himself alone after the death of his mother and must learn to survive. Tembo, the old elephant, feels that his life is coming to an end. So he decides to leave his herd to try to reach the Land Without Beginning, a mythical place accessible by a secret passage to the west. For a few days, this pragmatic mouse and even-tempered elephant will join paths. Enjoy the first issue of this non-stop title, followed by the entire story collected soon after in one volume. And it seems like it could be a cute story, potentially a cute little read. I wanted to mention it to you. The next one, which is probably not going to be cute at all, is Ninja Nuns, Bad Habits Die Hard, #1. This is also from Scout Comics. Did you accidentally summon a vengeful demon from another dimension? Have you recently committed heresy and started a church rave? Did your neighbor gain powers from a noodle god? If you answered yes to one or more of these questions, then you need to pray for assistance from the Ninja Nuns. Rising from the pages of Metal Shark Bro, these heavenly sisters star in an action-packed one-shot that hits harder than Sister Mary's ruler across your poorly behaved knuckles. All right, that just sounds like fun. So if you're into fun, which I know I am, you might want to check this one out. The next book is called Scout's Honor, #1. This is from Aftershock Comics. Years after a nuclear apocalypse, a new society has risen from the ashes, and their Bible is an old Ranger Scout manual. A young Ranger Scout named Kit has endured the harsh survivalist upbringing needed to conquer the irradiated Colorado Badlands. But after discovering a terrible secret once lost to history, Kit must risk everything on a dangerous quest to uncover the truth behind the Ranger Scouts doctrine. For multiple Ringo Award nominated comes a post-apocalyptic coming-of-age tale that proves when all you know is a lie, a scout's honor is the only way to move forward. That's kind of fun. That a scout's guide is going to become like their new code of ethics. That could be fun and interesting. Might be something you want to consider this week. One book that I am particularly interested in is called The Last Witch from Boom Studios. The description is, it's the one time of the year when the witch known as Kalitch hunts the children of the village. So Saoirse, a brave and reckless young girl, decides this is the perfect opportunity to defy her father and discover the secrets of the witch's tower. But when the Kalitch captures Saoirse and her brother Brom, their lives are forever changed in ways they never expected. Now Saoirse will have to save everyone she loves by discovering the truth about the mysterious mark on her shoulder and embracing her secret magical powers. This sounds like it could be a really fun book, and make sure you look up the pronunciation of these names like I had to do, because they're like in Gaelic, and the letters in this combination do not translate to the sounds that they are actually being pronounced as. I had to look that up. But it sounds like it could be a really cool, fun comic. I'm a big fan of Boom Studios, so I'm especially interested in this comic book. The next one I want to mention is a book that I haven't ever mentioned before, but it's something interesting about this one in particular. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer number 21. It says, Anya has been a key figure in Buffy's life ever since she arrived in Sunnydale, but there's more to the demon's mission and mysterious past than anyone knows. It starts with her secret connection to the Watchers Council and the first full appearance of the Slayer who came before Buffy, ? It says there. And the truth behind Anya connects Buffy's, yes plural, in ways no one ever saw coming. I'm actually a big fan of the Buffy television show. I'm not reading the comic book at all, but it does seem like there's going to be a first appearance in there. If you're into Buffy and you're into first appearances, you might want to consider getting this book. Okay, now we're going to get out of the indies, it looks like. Yes, we made it. And we're going to start getting into some of the big two. And the first one we're going to talk about this week is Crossover, number 3. Kids Love Chains, part 3 is coming out. It says, monsters and robots falling from the sky. Mysterious and familiar superheroes joining our intrepid gang on their journey to event Ground Zero. Crossover continues with the series' most explosive and shocking issue to date. Don't miss this one, folks. If you do, it just might drive you mad. Now, there are some exciting things about this one. One, this is a book that Donny Cates said to keep an eye out for, that you are not going to want to miss this one, 3 and 6. So definitely, you might want to, at the very least, if it's on the shelves, flip through it and see what he was talking about and see if it's for you. Just don't ignore it completely. It's been a great series, and I'm very interested to see what happens in this book. And also, Spawn's on the cover of a McFarlane cover that was done for this book, so that's pretty cool as well. So definitely keep your eye out for this book this week. Okay, another book that I want to mention to you is called Generations Shattered, number 1. This is from DC Comics. It says, a threat of cosmic proportion to DC's newest and oldest universe compels one of the most unusual groups of heroes ever assembled to take on the most mysterious foe they have ever encountered. What started in Detective Comics 1027 explodes out of Dark Knight's death metal to tell the story of the generation-spanning history of the DC universe. Join the original Batman, Kamandi, Starfire, Sinestro, Booster Gold, Dr. Light, Steel, and Sinestro in their quest to save the universe before time runs out. This sounds like it could be a hodgepodge of awesome. I am optimistic and interested in checking it out. It is an expensive one, though. It is a $10 book, so keep that in mind. Folks, hold on for just one moment. I'm going to take a quick break. All right, folks, sorry about the edit. I had to let my dog in. it happens sometimes. Okay, so let's move on to the next book on our list here today. And it is, oh yeah, yep. Future State, Wonder Woman #1. Here's the description. Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest lies a hero of mythic legend, Wonder Woman. But in the absence of Diana, Yara Flor has risen out of obscurity to protect man's world from the magic that lies within it. Along with her trusty steed, she journeys to the underworld to rescue one of her Themysciran sisters from the grasp of Hades. Will she unleash the wrath of this god in the process? You won't want to miss this first appearance of a character who will change the history of Wonder Woman forever. First appearance of a new Wonder Woman. I'm not even a big Wonder Woman fan. I think Wonder Woman's super cool, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick this one up because I think DC has a lot of interest in investing in Wonder Woman, and there's a new Wonder Woman, so don't miss out on this one. The next book I want to mention is very similar thing for you to keep your eyes out for. It is Future State, the next Batman #1. Gotham City has always been dangerous, but now it's downright deadly. Following the tragedy of A-Day, the mayor allowed the private law enforcement group known as the Magistrate to take over policing so-called mask crime, and that has given rise to a new Dark Knight. What is this mysterious crime fighter's connection to former Batman weaponeer Lucius Fox? The fight for justice has never been this dangerous. Then, in an all-new tale of the outsiders, everything in Gotham City may be under the thumb of the Magistrate, but even members of that totalitarian force know that the outskirts of town are protected by the sword of Katana. Plus, ride with the Arkham Knights on their quest for freedom. Arkham Asylum has been decommissioned, and the Magistrate rules the land with an iron fist and zero tolerance. Now it's time for the lunatics to take back their town. Follow Croc, Two-Face, Phosphorus, Zaz, Clayface, and Astrid Arkham as the Arkham Knights raise holy hell on the occupiers of Gotham. Man, this book is chock full, not to mention the next Batman. Before we had a new Wonder Woman, now we have a new Batman. DC is trying to sell comic books, and they're doing a really good job by introducing new Batmans and new Wonder Womans. Because even though I said I was going to avoid the Future State books, these two, I can't avoid them. I gotta get the new Wonder Woman. I gotta get the new Batman. My FOMO won't allow me to not buy these books. I probably think that you should do the same as with everybody else on the planet. So make sure you potentially even call your comic book store now and try to get those reserved. The next book that I'm going to mention today is Future State The Flash #1. With no powers, no backup, and no other choice, Barry Allen and his former Flashes face the deadliest threat they've ever encountered, Wally West. Possessed by an evil force trapped for thousands of years inside the Speed Force, Barry turns to his greatest foe's weapons to save the young man he loves like a son. In the end, how much will Barry sacrifice to save the former Kid Flash? Alright, I like The Flash. If you like The Flash too, you're going to pick this up. But this is one I'm actually going to take a pass on. The next one is Future State Swamp Thing #1. From the ashes of a terrible war, life blooms anew in Swamp Thing's image. The remnants of humanity lie in hiding, forever in the shadow of the green god who now rules the planet. When the new avatar of the green uncovers a stray human, a rebellion is revealed. But this Swamp Thing is no stranger to violent ends, and neither are his creations. If it's war humanity wants, it will be at their doorstep, and Swamp Thing will never be the same. You know, this sounds kind of interesting to me. If there wasn't 50,000 books coming out this week, I might read this just for fun. But there's way too much coming out this week, and so I'm going to take a total pass on this book. The next one I want to mention is Future State. Man, there's a lot of Future State books. Superman of Metropolis #1. Before leaving for parts unknown, Clark Kent entrusted Earth's safety to his son. Now Jonathan Kent is Superman. Top priority for this new Superman to protect Metropolis. When a new version of Brainiac attacks, John takes drastic measures, which result in the bottle city of Metropolis. But watch out, John, because Supergirl is on her way and she is not happy with your decision. Meanwhile, in the new bottle city, a new hero has risen, Jake Jordan, the former Manhattan Guardian, came to the City of Tomorrow to start over, but he's not the only one who wants a new beginning. An anarchist calling himself Honest Mary sees this time of trouble as an opportunity for rebirth, and she'll tear down the entire city to prove her point. Does Jake have what it takes to save the new home from disasters both inside and outside the bottle? Superman's former pal Jimmy Olsen is going to make sure he does. Finally, the current Mr. Miracle, Shiloh Norman, is also in the bottle, and he's looking for a way out. He better be careful, though, or he may end up someplace unexpected. It's a story that continues in Superman Worlds of War 1. Man, there's way too much happening inside this little bottle city. But you might be super excited about it. I think if you're a Superman fan, you're going to geek out big time on this, so you might want to check it out. The next book I'm going to mention is, big surprise, Future State, Harley Quinn #1. In the bold move that rocks Gotham City, the Magistrate has imprisoned Harley Quinn. The villain, once known as the Scarecrow, now a pawn of the Magistrate, taps into Harley's knowledge of Gotham's villains and the Black Mask Gang for his own dark purposes. Crane and his bosses think they have Harley Quinn defeated and her spirit broken, but they are sorely mistaken, and Harley will have her revenge. Written by Rising Star writer Stephanie Phillips and drawn by fan favorite artist Simone DeMeo, the next era of Harley Quinn begins here. Well, it's Future State, and all the hits are coming out, and Harley Quinn is listed among the hits. Something you might want to check out if you're a Harley Quinn fan. All right, next from DC is Dark Knight's Death Metal 7. I am not going to read the description for this one because it's not new. You all know what's going on with Dark Knight's Death Metal. This is the last issue of Dark Knight's Death Metal. Thank God. I thought it was going to be a small commitment. It turned out to not be a small commitment at all, but I have enjoyed it. And if you've been reading it, I hope you have as well. But finally, it's going to be over. We'll see what comes out of it moving forward in the future. The next book I want to mention to you is another banger. Listen, I could have done a Kate's Corner today, but I just don't have time, so I'm going to just push through everything. The next one is Venom #32. King in Black arrives. Eddie Brock is about to face the biggest challenge of his life, but he's not alone. Okay, so if you're following King in Black, I hope you're also reading Venom, because in my estimation, King in Black is just extra issues of Venom. It's basically just feels like, like I said, it just basically feels like Donny Cates pitched a story that was too big for Venom, so they did a special little side series to support the Eddie Brock and Venom story. So I really don't think you can read King in Black and fully appreciate it without also reading Venom. So if you are reading King in Black without Venom, please start reading Venom and read it here with this issue. Now, the next Donny Cates book that comes out today that's of note is Thor #11. Man, there's a lot of books this week, and we're almost there, kind of. I really like this Thor story that's going on right now with Donald Blake, kind of out of his idealized city and Thor inside of it, and Thor's got his problems inside, and Donald Blake is creating his problems outside. I like how strong Donald Blake is, and I think it's pretty cool. Thor is absolutely one of my favorite series out right now. I like it a lot. Donny Cates is doing amazing work with it, and this story I also like a lot, and I can't wait to see what happens in this next issue, Thor #11. Okay, there's also a Symbiote Spider-Man Marvel Tales #1 coming out this week. And if you remember, we've talked about these Marvel Tales in the past before. Essentially, they're just reprints of previous comics that will kind of give you a collected information about a topic. And this is collective information about Symbiote Spider-Man. It basically collects Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars #8, which is like the origin from Secret Wars of the Black Suit. It also collects Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Man 256 through 258, and it collects Venom Super Special number 1. There's nothing new, nothing key, nothing much going on here, but if you don't have these stories already and you're looking for an opportunity to kind of learn more about the symbiote suit all in one volume, this is for you. Next, I'm going to mention a book that I'm excited about, which is Symbiote Spider-Man King in Black number 3. It says, Forces collide. Take a trip with Symbiote Spider-Man as he aligns himself with Kang the Conqueror? That can't be right. Be here in January to see how the pieces fit as Spider-Man heads to space. You'll never guess who else is here to help Spidey. Hint, she's on the cover. I've been enjoying Symbiote Spider-Man in and of itself. I think it's a pretty cool story. I thought it might be more key and more informative than it is, but right now it just kind of stands out as kind of an interesting little side story to the King in Black event that's taking place. Like I said, I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to reading it. It might not be for everybody, but it is new this week, issue number 3. Okay, the next book I want to mention is also a book that's a personal pick as well. It's Star Wars number 10. Now, Star Wars is really hot right now, and you need to keep your eye out, I think, for new appearances out of Star Wars. And I feel like issue number 9 had some new appearances. I'm no expert on these appearances, but they felt like they were new appearances. And issue number 10 in the description here refers to some new people showing up. So I would keep a keen eye out for new characters in the Star Wars universe. Something to keep in mind with Star Wars issue number 10. All right, the next book I want to mention is a King in Black tie-in. It's King in Black, Return of the Valkyries, number 1. Here's the description. Jane Foster returns. Once there was an entire army of Valkyries, but now Jane Foster is the only one. When the King in Black comes to Midgard, Jane must rebuild the Valkyries to help stop him, starting with Hildegard, a warrior from Asgard's own hallowed halls, and X-Man Danny Moonstar, a former Valkyrie herself. But what Jane doesn't know is that she never was the only Valkyrie after all. Who was the 4th warrior? Jason Aaron and Torun Grobnik team up with artist Nina Vakuva for a story that will rock the foundations of the Marvel Universe. Okay, so the Valkyries seem like cool characters. It's cool that Jane is pulling together a new group of Valkyries, and that there's one that may have always kind of been there in the shadows. It's also written by Jason Aaron, who is really, really great. So I think that there's a lot of things about this book to pay attention to. So keep that all in mind. Okay, folks, the next one I want to mention is a new book that comes out this week. It is Eternals number 1. There are a ton of covers for this book. I'm going to slow down while I'm talking about this book because it is going to take forever to get through all of these covers. It is so stupid, but you get to choose exactly which one makes you happiest. Here's the description. Never die, never win, Eternals. What's the point of an eternal battle? For millions of years, 100 Eternals have roamed the earth, secret protectors of humanity. Without them, we'd be smears between the teeth of the demon-like deviants. Their war has waged for all time, echoing in our myths and nightmares. But today, Eternals face something new, change. Can they, or anyone on Earth, survive their discovery? From the thought-provoking minds of Kieron Gillen and Asad Ribic comes a new vision of the classic Marvel mythology. So this sounds actually pretty interesting to me. Marvel is obviously putting a lot behind it with the stupid amount of covers that they have coming out for this book. Some of them are really, really great though. So there's definitely going to be one out there for you to pick. I myself am going to pick up this book. I am just going to get the A cover. I'm going to keep it simple for myself. even though there are a handful of them in there that are just super, super, super. But my my heart goes out to the retailers that were like, which ones do I order? Which ones are people going to want? But it sounds like it could be an interesting book, and it sounds like Marvel's going to throw a lot of their support behind it. So it might be one you consider checking out. Okay. I think somehow we made it through the stupid list of books that are coming out this week, and all we are left with is my pick this week for the book that I would choose if I could buy just one book. And this was not an easy decision. I tried to thought about what I think is going to be most popular, which one is going to be most clearly like a slam dunk, or am I going to go with what I ended up doing is going with my gut. And something in my gut, it's not always right, but I got to trust it. And something in my gut is telling me that this is the one book for this week. And that book is Star Wars: The High Republic, #1. Now here's the description. Before the Skywalker saga, the golden age of the Jedi, a new era of Star Wars storytelling begins. It is centuries before the Skywalker saga. The Jedi are at their height, protecting the galaxy as Republic pioneers push out into new territories. As the frontier prepares for the dedication of majestic Starlight Beacon, Padawan Keeve Trennis faces the ultimate choice. Will she complete her Jedi trials or rescue the innocent from disaster? New Jedi, new ships, new evils to fight. Okay, so when I was talking about Star Wars just a minute ago, I mentioned keep your eyes out for new characters. Star Wars is a massively popular entity. It is not going anywhere. But in the past few years, between the prequels and episodes 7, 8, and 9, and some of the standalones like Solo or Rogue Squadron or stuff like that, the Star Wars property was starting to kind of wane. People, it didn't really have the same kind of magic, feeling that the original trilogy had. And I think people were starting to get a little bit burnt out on it, even though there actually wasn't that much of it out there. Then came The Mandalorian, and The Mandalorian has been a massive success. The Mandalorian has brought people who were thinking of giving up on Star Wars back into the Star Wars fold. So now you think, okay, where do we go from here? If The Mandalorian is such a success and can prove that there is still a place for really great Star Wars storytelling in the world, where are we going to get those stories from? And I think it's from comic books like this. Now, for example, Marvel and the MCU has decades and decades worth of source material to go to find stories for their movies and for their television shows and for whatever. Star Wars doesn't have that kind of, backlog of storytelling. There's a lot of Star Wars stories out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they have nearly as much, obviously, as Marvel does in general. So I think that these stories are going to come from places like this, especially a story like this that focuses on the heyday of the Jedi. To me, what is coolest about Star Wars is the space magic, is the Jedi. Yes, Han and Chewbacca are just cool characters. And yes, stuff that happens in space is also pretty cool. I'm into that stuff. But what is the coolest to me are these samurai that fight with laser swords and can do crazy flips and have these awesome battles with each other. Now we are going to go into the heyday of the Jedi, well before even the prequels took place. When that's what I thought was going to be most exciting about the prequels, is that there was going to be all these badass Jedi, but we never got into it. Now, hopefully, we are going to get into the full badass potential of the Jedi here with Star Wars: The High Republic. It's just, man, I am personally excited about it. I think from a spec perspective, this really has a lot of potential for all the reasons that I just mentioned. They're going to be looking for great news stories, and this is going to be a wonderful place to find them. I would highly recommend you consider picking up at least this first issue, because there's going to be a lot of new things introduced right here, and I think they're going to be cool, and I think they're going to have a lot of potential in the future. So for all of the reasons that I just enumerated, that is why Star Wars: The High Republic #1 is my just one book pick for this week. Well, folks, we made it. We got through the stupid amount of books that are coming out this week. I looked at my pull list for this week, and it is a lot of money. At cover price, I think I'm up to like $80, and that is just crazy. So I hope you all saved some money from last week with the very light week that happened there, and have maybe got some cash for Christmas presents, because you're going to need it this week, because there are a lot of fantastic books that you are not going to want to miss out on. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If this is the first one of my videos that you're watching and you got all the way to the end here, thank you so much for watching this video. I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe guy and hit the notification bell so you're informed when I put out new videos. And if you like this video, likes are always appreciated. Please hit that like button before the video ends today. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.